Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am super excited to share something really amazing, and that's on how to set up a ribber machine. You guys have been asking me what machine have I been using for most of my projects. This is it, a silver ribber machine. I also want to explain something. If you have a silver flatbed, you have to stick to a silver ribber machine. Or if you have a brother flatbed machine, you have to stick to a brother ribber machine. You don't mix both. You don't mix a brother flatbed for a silver ribber or a silver ribber for a brother flatbed. You don't mix them. Now the first step is for you to add your clamp to your flatbed. Once you get your ribber machine, you're going to see a clamp like this. So you add it both sides to your flatbed machine. That is what I'm doing now. Then you also screw it to your table. I also want you to know that whichever table that you're using has to be very sturdy, because you're going to work with two machines, which is the flatbed and the ribber machine. Also, both machines are very fragile, so you need to be very careful while using both machines. And you also need to set up your machine properly. It is very, very important. So after you screw this very first part, you also screw the other part to the table to make it very sturdy. And you need to also check both of them, check both sides. Once you are done with both sides, now the next thing I'm going to do now is to attach my ribber machine to my flatbed. A ribber machine is just an attachment to the flatbed, and it has its own designs. What I'm going to do now is once you get your machines, you're going to see these sides, both sides. So you attach it to your flatbed. You do it by the left hand side and the right hand side. I will also advise that if you have someone around you, you can also tell them to assist you, because these machines are very heavy and they are also fragile. Do you understand? They are very, very fragile. So it's advisable to have someone beside you to assist you rather. Now we have what we call the left and the right side. That's what I just showed you now. Sorry, please ignore the stains on my hand. It's machine oil that caused it. So you're going to place the left side on the left hand side of your machine and the right one on the right hand side of the machine. You also see like a circle. You will see it on the flatbed, you will see it on the ribber, and you see it on this plastic itself. Then you're going to also add the nuts. So you see like two nuts when you get your machine, your ribber machine. That's what I'm talking about. So you attach the nut to this part that I'm just showing you. So you will see like a circle inside. So the nut needs to enter inside. Then you screw it and make sure it is very tight. You do it by the left hand side, and you also do the same thing by the right hand side. So you make sure you screw it very well. You're going to see this once you get a ribber machine. So you screw it to make sure it is very, very tight. Please, it has to be very, very tight, so that while knitting it doesn't fall off. That's your ribber machine doesn't fall off. Then you attach this one. So once you finish one part, either the left hand side or the right hand side, you come back to do the other side. Then you attach it, look for the circle inside, then add the knot, then screw it to be very firm, to be very sturdy. It is very, very important. Once you do this, that means you've attached your, so I'm still trying to do, because it was giving me issue here, but at the end of the day I was able to attach it. I was able to screw it in to make it very firm. So once you do this, that means you've attached your ribber machine to the flatbed and you are good to go. But before then, there are still some things you need to check by both sides. That's the left hand side and the right hand side. So please don't forget, I'm also doing a voiceover. I love to do voiceover for my project most times. I really love it. So I'm trying to check it to be sure it's okay. Now I'm going to also add my carriage, the normal carriage for your flatbed. I'm going to add it. Then what I'm doing now is the carriage, is the hand feeder for the ribber machine. Once you get a ribber machine, you are going to see this hand feeder is for the carriage, the flatbed carriage. So this is how you're going to attach it, then screw it well. Because the reason is because I'm still going to add another carriage to the ribber machine itself. That's what I'm going to do now. I'm adding the carriage, so you're going to see this also. You will now add this underneath it. It's for the ribber itself. Then you will now press it. So because I added that hand feeder and added this carriage, so you have to press it inside to be sure it's okay, it is firm. If you try yours and it's not firm, it didn't enter through it, like it didn't pass through, that means you have to remove it and try it again. So once you do this, you now, before then, sorry, what I'm doing so far, I'm trying to put it down 2 times, because most times you might not want to use your rebar machine, you want to use your flatbed. So this is a very nice way of doing things. Once you move it down, if you pull it down 2 times, you can now use your flatbed machine on its own. Once you pull it up, like what I just did now, that means I want to use my rebar machine. I want to work with my rebar machine. So once I do this, once I press it to be sure it's intact, I will now knit on its own to be sure it's very, very neat. One, also to be sure that it is firm. I don't have issues with it. So these are the things I'm trying to check the machines to be sure everything is okay. So I'm trying to knit. I don't have any glitch. Very important. There is no glitch. Everything is fine. The next thing is I'm going to try and knit. One thing about rebar machine is whenever you're knitting, you don't use all the stitches. But first of all, I'm going to identify, let me say for example, stitches 2020 on the flat bed. Then you come back to check your rebar machine. You also bring out 2020 needles. So once you identify 2020 needles on the flat bed and on the rebar machine, the next thing is for you to alternate. So we work with 1x1 rib most times. My next video, I'm going to show you how to knit English rib on my silver rebar machine. Now that I've identified 2020 on both sides, the flatbed and the rebar, the next thing is for me to use my 1x1 selector, then move it back. That's those ones on the flat bed. Then I come back to my rebar machine. I also move it back using my selector 1x1. So what I'm doing now is I'm trying to be sure that they are okay. Also, I would like to advise that whenever you're bringing out all your stitches, once the 20th one, since I brought out 2020, once the 20th one is out, you also make sure the 20th one on the rebar machine is also out too. So as I said, I did the 1x1 on my flat bed and I did the 1x1 again on my rebar machine. Then I'm going to knit to be sure it's okay. So once you knit, they will all go back to position B. They were actually in position E. Then I moved it, for a silver machine's position D, Then once I knitted once, they now went back to position B. So I tried to knit for some time to be sure it's okay, and I realized that it's intact. So the next step would be for me to knit my English rib. That would be the next one. Now, if we are done, you want to just work with only your flat bed. This is how you are going to remove it. You remove your carriage for the rebar itself. Then the next thing will be for you to just remove your carriage, the second carriage on the flat bed. Then you bring it down 2 times. So what I'm trying to do is I want to remove my rebar machine. So the place where I had to use that knot, before then I make sure I bring it down to be sure it's intact both sides. Once I bring it down, I also take it up too. The next step is, because I want to remove it now, I want to remove my rebar machine. So the next step will be for me to unscrew both sides. What I'm doing now, so I'm going to unscrew either the left hand side or the right hand side, whichever one. Then I'm trying to unscrew it, remove the knot, then remove the plastic. That's the left hand side plastic and the right hand side plastic. You do it both sides, and as you're doing it, you need to also hold your rebar machine. It is very important, because if you don't hold your rebar machine as you're doing it can just remove and fall off. And as I said, the rebar machine is very fragile, even the flatbed too. So the next step is for you to remove the left hand side and the right hand side. Then you will now finally remove your rebar machine and just keep it in a corner. Trust me, this is very, very easy to do. Very, very easy. After that, you will now remove your clamp. Now, this clamp that you are seeing is mostly for your rebar machine. There is a clamp that comes with your flatbed on its own. So this is advisable for people that have just a flatbed and a rebar machine. So if you don't want to work with your rebar machine, this is how you remove it. Then use the normal clamp for your flatbed. Trust me, it is very, very easy. Just follow all these steps that I explained to you. You will not have any issue with your flatbed machine and your rebar machine. So for my next video, I'm going to explain to you how to knit English rib. We have like different types of patterns, different types of ribs. We have what we call the English rib. We have what we call the fisherman's rib. We have like a lot. So I'm going to explain to you how to knit English rib. Most times I use English rib for most of my projects. That will be the next one that I'm going to explain to you. And I also want you guys to try this. If you have a rebar machine and you've been trying to set up your rebar machine, you don't know how to set up your rebar machine, trust me, follow these steps. So this is how it looks like. This is how I set up my machine most times, and I just leave it like this. So I want you to try this. For those who have a river machine or are intending to get a river machine, see you in my next video. Bye.